Worte, ja so sieht es, gut aus, ja hey, ja ho, hey yo, ja ja. Getting the shirt thing, yeah, it's easy. Hey ya hey me ya ho ha, hey ya hey me ya ho ha, hey ya hey me ya ho ha, hey ya ho, hey ya hey yo hey. Hey ya hey yo ha, hey ya hey yo ha, hey ya hey yo ha, hey ya ho, hey ya hey ya New video, new session. Let's go. Certainly put this in there. Doesn't stick. Does not seem to stick. No. It's not large enough. Well, but it's fine. It's fine. Leave it like that then. It's fine. Hey ya ho, hey ya ho, more content, ya hey ya him, ya ho, hey. Hey ya, belief work, ya ho, hey. I am immediately utilizing, where are we at? 42, that's fine. I am immediately utilizing belief work to address limiting beliefs whenever it comes up throughout the intervention. I am a master of changing my clients' beliefs. Beliefs are always going to come up in my interventions. I am a master of immediately perceiving how to utilize the 14 sleight of mouth patterns, direction, location, and causation in order to change my clients' limiting beliefs. I am a master of utilizing the 14 sleight of mouth patterns for belief change after step 4. A limiting belief is limiting because it excludes my client from the larger experience of life and from meeting his needs in a way that he would meet his needs on a high level and be good for others and serve the greater good. I am a master of immediately perceiving how this belief is limiting towards the objective of meeting my client's needs and him meeting his needs and him meeting his values for belief change. I am a master of finding the cause of the belief. I am a master of articulating the consequence of the belief. I am the master of articulating the intent of the belief. I am the master of reframing the belief. I am the master of stating another outcome for the belief. I am a master of changing the frame size. I am a master of finding when the belief was formed. I am a master of finding why the belief was formed, to meet the need for love and to avoid pain in the future, to ensure love and pleasure in the supply of good feelings. Being conservative usually means being responsible. It comes out of the motivation to be responsible. When you're responsible, you would also not reject growth, would you? And if you don't reject growth, would that not include forgiving? So it is not that you can't forgive, since forgiveness is growth and responsibility is responsible. It is what responsible person would do. Maybe we're just confused. This is great, man. This is great. I'm utilizing that, yes. Content piece. Here's what I'm doing. Being conservative usually means being responsible, doesn't it? It comes out of the motivation to be responsible. So when you're responsible, you would also not reject growth, would you? And if you don't reject growth, would that not include forgiving? So it is not that you can't forgive, since forgiveness is growth and is responsible. It is what a responsible person would do. Maybe we're just confused. Different cause. It is because you are a good soul underneath it all, delineating the pattern from the essence of my client. It is not because you are living on airplanes. And you're a good soul because look at how your niece treats you, evidence. Children are very honest in their reactions, facts for evidence. So if you weren't a good soul, she wouldn't react to you like that. I am a master of finding evidence that she can't agree with that is connected to her vehicle for love. But if you keep believing that it's because you live on airplanes, you may start to actually believe it, which I know on some level you don't. You just tell yourself that to denigrate yourself because you have linked up denigrating yourself would protect you somehow. It makes you weak and it makes you lose respect. And even worse is you keep denigrating yourself, you may actually start believing that you only have somebody around because you live on airplanes. And then both the men and your niece will leave you and not speak to you and not give you what you want on the same level. If you keep integrating yourself, you lose the connection to your heart. which is the only reason your niece continue to talk to you. If you weren't that kind of person underneath all of that, she would just take the chihuahua and play with it instead, because its heart is always open to her. Because its heart is always open to her, and yours is not when you wear in your head. What have I done here? I am linking denigrating yourself to the loss of respect because she is significance driven. I am taking the information that she gave me with the chihuahua and changing the cars. It is finding you are actually a good soul underneath it all. I'm finding evidence. The niece is love. Consequence. If you keep up this belief, you will lose her love. I am pointing out how some little she does believe, how on some level she doesn't believe it, and I'm explaining the dynamic of denigrating yourself. I'm explaining the intent to protect yourself. But you don't need to protect it through denigrating yourself, but you're already protected by your heart's intuition, which can tell good people from bad people, It was just confused, because it couldn't tell daddy's bad behavior, because you needed him and because you loved him. And there were some aspects that you at least respected, if not loved. Am I right or wrong about that? Even though you made those parts wrong, even in yourself, not just in him, because your cognitive capacities weren't fully developed when you started to believe that you need protection, which was true. You didn't need the protection. You did need the protection. Which was true. You did need the protection. But you don't need the denigration right now. That doesn't serve anybody at all. I'm a master of reframing, rephrasing, and showing her behavior in another context. I am a master of reframing patterns, disliking the daughter's stubbornness, and I'm a reframing that based on the pain of something happened to his daughter, his vehicle for love. It can be a very useful trait when she is with a boy and he tries to drag her to the back seat of a car and she doesn't want to be there. Because it is not who you are and you keep doing it, some force inside you compels you to keep doing it even though you don't want to do it. Yes, I'm a master of applying leverage. I'm a master of showing how past painful experiences were related to the behavior that I want to change. I am a master of articulating a new empowering alternative. So one of the things we need to develop is a new set of beliefs that will allow you to be a true self. I am a master of asking questions for the blueprint fulfillment. So the question is, have you proven yourself to your father? Dominance leads to strength. Acceptance does too. But unlike dominance, acceptance gives you not only the strength, but also the love inside. Secondary gain. Which right now, how much love have you felt alongside your strength? Then what would make it worth it for you if you could trade the dominance for acceptance? Dominance leads to strength, leads to exhaustion, unless you let go of the dominance, which letting go of it is harder than not doing it in the first place. But you forgot or misperceived what to dominate. Not other people, but your own hatred. And the hatred comes from the domination. So in order to not needing to do this, let's explore how to let go of the domination. You thought so, but that strength wasn't illusion except when it was coming from and through acceptance. Was an illusion. You thought so, but that strength was an illusion, except when it was coming from and through acceptance. Doesn't do so a lot of the time, or most times. The times when it doesn't, what does it lead to instead? And how painful is that? What else is affected by that? And you had to have strength, because weakness would have meant what? So it was absolutely fit for the situation back then, when weakness, what you thought weakness meant, with not so strong understanding of what things mean as a 6-year-old, you had to do that. But today, thanks to you and perhaps the grace of God, there is a choice available, unless you close yourself willingly from the choice. But the only reason you would not do that, considering you got a lot more joy from your life would be because you think it's not safe. But it was really poor judgment that you had back then as a child that will make you suffer not only now but long in the future. What consequence do you have as a result? This is really good. What consequence do you have as a result of that strength? And what are the consequences you don't like? Truthfully speaking, that you don't like, truthfully speaking, also comes from it. And what are the consequences you don't like, truthfully speaking, that also come from it? And so it's not really the strength that you are after, but the perceived protection that it gives you, period. But does it really, or does it shut your heart? So doing opens the door wide for advantage-taking men to come in. But does it really, or does it shut your heart? And in so doing, open the door wide for advantage-taking, seeking men to come in. Because you starve yourself from love. You lack the discernment. You lack the discernment because you need it so much, it opens up all kinds of blind spots and weaknesses that can be exploited. The same entryways that I'm using in order to convince you, the same psychological points can be misused and abused by men who know how to do that. And there are a lot who do. A lot of people teach that, and a lot of men know about it. This is not hidden knowledge anymore, how to manipulate a woman. Somebody's interested in that information, can find plenty of it. Belief. I was scared to death. This is the way it is supposed to be with parents. Intent. Wasn't your father's intent to scare you? Redefine. Were you scared or were you really feel full? There was an element of resentment also. Context, content, reframing, pre-framing, and deframing. Was this supposed to be this way, or did you just not have any other way? Consequence. What consequence does this belief have to your relationship with your own children? Chunking up. Are you always supposed to be in fear of authority figures? Chunking down. When you are afraid every single time he beats you, or just a specific circumstance. Analogy. Getting beaten is kind of like deserving punishment for not finishing your food. You can get the food without being punished for it. Changing frame size. Parental generational patterns. What do you think your father's experience with his dad? Another outcome. Maybe it's not that it is supposed to be with parents, but that it is inevitable when you get beaten. It is possible not to be afraid as a child. Is it possible not to be afraid as a child when you get beaten? Is it possible to not get beaten and not be afraid of your parents? Reality strategy. How do you know if you were afraid, and how do you experience the memories when you pull them up again? Model of the world. Are these cultures where beating your child is despicable because the innocence of the child is held sacred? Are there cultures where beating your child is despicable because the innocence of a child is held sacred? Counterexample. Are there children who are not afraid of their parents? Is this due to them behaving differently than your father did? Hierarchy of criteria. What was more important to him than making you afraid? Could he have gotten that without beating you? Intent. Applied to self. That must have scared him, and probably he is in pain and remorse if he heard that description of you explaining it to me. He is in pain of remorse if he had heard that description of you explaining it to me. Metaframe. What is another belief that can change these beliefs? Changing direction of focus, spatial difference, location, where, causation, changing the meaning, context, content, reframing. Changing the same situation of meaning to a different context, deframing, destroying the frame of reference, pre-framing, telling him in advance how to feel about it. Belief. He just needed to keep me in line. Intent. Was that his intent to keep you in line, or did he sometimes just spank you to release his own stress? Do you believe that would have been possible? Redefine. Did he need to spank you, or did you want to spank you? Did he keep you in line, or did he focus on you to obey him? Consequence. What was the consequence if you weren't in line? Apart from being spanked, what did he want to prevent you from doing? What did you learn as a consequence of being violated? What did he learn as the consequence of violating you? Chunking up. Do all children need to be kept in line? Does a child need to be in the line all the time? Which line did he keep you in? What did this mean to you? What did this mean to your siblings? What did this mean to your mother? What did this mean to him? You are right that children need to be kept in line, and that probably you in particular. And that probably you in particular have to be kept in line, but maybe he had drawn the line too close. Analogy. Keeping one in line sounds like wanting to make you, sounds like he wanted to make you, sounds like he wanted to make you into a factory worker. It's good that you got kept in line. Kept in line, not kept in line. Changing frame size. Has even kept in line by his father? Are your kids? Are your kids minding the line? Changing the frame size, yeah. Another outcome. What if it's not about being kept in line, but to enforce the rules that are really true? Model of the world. Do you think there are other cultures in which children are kept in line? Keep the line. Keep the line with love. Reality strategy. How did getting out of line look like to you? What behaviors did you display that were out of line? Counter example. Were you ever beat when you didn't get out of line? Were you ever beaten when you did stay in line and it felt arbitrary? Hierarchy of criteria. What was even more important to him than keeping you in line? Apply to self. Did he get out of line about the same principles that he wanted you to stay in line about? Meta frame. What would you need to believe about discipline to get to this belief? What would you need to believe about punishment to keep up this belief? Men always turn on you, you can't trust them. Intent. Was it your intent to trust them? Was it his intent to betray your trust, or was it just being selfish? Redefine. Do men always turn on you, or do people turn on you? Do men always turn on you, or do people always turn on you? You mean you can't trust them, or you couldn't trust anyone you ever met? Or did you mean you didn't trust and got betrayed as a result of it? Consequence. What was the consequence? How did you treat him after he betrayed your trust? Chunking up. Isn't that no man should ever be close to you? Chunking down. Do you trust men not even giving in accurate to change at the store? Giving you accurate change at the store? Analogy. Not trusting men is like a roller coaster, except it goes down, except it only goes down, yet it still feels like your hair is flying in your face as you move down. Changing frame size. Do you think you could trust a son if you had one, that if you was innocent, that if you were... Do you think you could trust a son if you had one that is innocent, 1 year old? Another outcome. Is it that you truly don't want to trust men ever, that you want to prevent being hurt ever again? Or is it that you want to prevent being hurt again, and you feel trusting a man and being hurt are invariably going together? Model of the world. Do you believe that there may be a different culture in which men need to be trusted because they trust women and elders, and without trust, the society would fall apart? Reality strategy. How did it look to you when you bring up the memory of trust again? Do you see moment of you finding out that he betrayed you, or the picture in the train, or do you see yourself after the betrayal suffering? Counter example. Was there ever a kind of man, maybe a doctor or a nurse, that you did trust to do service for you and then he delivered exactly what you wanted? So it's not that no man can be trusted, it's just you cannot trust the man you picked, and there's a reason for that. Hierarchy of criteria. What is even more important than trust in a relationship to you? Apply to self. Do you trust yourself in your own judgment? Maybe that is the reason because of inaccurate judgment. Maybe it's not that all men cannot be trusted, but that you have had judgment who the trustworthy ones are, who the ones are that don't betray you, that there's a reason why this kept happening to you. Mental frame. Mental frame. What do you need to believe about trust in order to believe that men are not trustworthy? Not about men, but trust. Spatial. Maybe you were looking for trust in the wrong way. Maybe you were blinded by this wound spot inside of yourself that didn't let you perceive the trustworthy qualities because you believe they are not there. Rather, you focus on what the qualities and behaviors you need to avoid. Because you focus on them, you would the behavior you wanted to avoid over and over again. I bet you found them many times, otherwise you probably wouldn't have to believe. Redefine. It is not that men betray your trust. It is a certain behavior that you have only seen men exhibit that betrayed you, your trust, but you managed to delete that. The man that didn't betray your trust. Belief. I am sick of being used by men. Intent. Was his intent to use you, or did he just find a better opportunity? Was his intent to use you, or did he just find a better opportunity? Redefine. Are you sick, or do you feel hurt? Content, context, reframing. Would that serve you with the dating situation? In what other scenario could that serve you well? Were you used, or did they use your caring and easy trust to get away with something you felt you wouldn't get away with another woman? Content reframing. What the use pertains to. Interesting. Consequence. What do you do to yourself? How do you treat your son as a result of that? Chunking up. So you are sick of being completely devastated by all men all the time. Chunking down. Do they use you in every moment of your life always? Analogy. Being used by men is kind of like not knowing how to drive a car. One day you realize it way too late, but then you've already crashed. Changing frame size. Does this happen all the time, or was there a specific time in which it most notably happened? I am a master of another outcome. What if the outcome is not to not be used by men, but to use this experience to finally heal, so that they have nothing to use against you, because it is not that they used you, it is that they use the pattern inside of you in order to act out their own pattern. How does that sound? That sounds flippin' epic to me. This is what we're gonna make a content piece about. Model of the world. Do you think that there are people who look at you and don't even think about using you, but giving to you? You just haven't seen them in so long because they feel immediately repelled by the negative energy. So the only men who ignore your negative judgmental energy are the ones that are also ignore this negative judgmental energy in themselves. They are blind towards your negativity in the same way as they are blind towards their good qualities, as you are blind towards their good qualities. The reality strategy. How do you picture yourself being used? Do you see yourself anticipating it with fear, or do you see yourself in the moment when that happened? Or how do you feel afterwards? Or do you see yourself not at all, but acting in a way you don't want him to act? I am a master of providing a counter-example. Are there men that you are not sick of? Your dad, how was your dad? Hierarchy of criteria. What is even more important to you than being used? What do you think was even more important to him than using you? Maybe he just valued going after immediate needs more than your trust and commitment to the relationship. I am a master of applying it to self. Aren't you sick of feeling so sick? Would you like to feel healthy and saying about it and about the man that you were with? Then let's end the cycle now. I am a master of portraying the meta frame. The meta frame. I am a master of portraying the meta frame. What do you think someone would need to believe that treats you like that about himself? Believe. Maybe it is because work is the only thing I don't screw up. Intent. Was it ever your intent to screw up? Is it not because work is the only thing you don't screw up? Because you do screw it up every now and then, are you not? Redefine. Is it work that you don't screw up, or is it some element of work that you don't screw up that you feel absolutely certain about? Is it the only thing you don't screw up, or the only thing where it is okay to make mistakes because, unlike your relationship in the work, it may cost you business, it may cost you money, but it doesn't cost you love, and there is a difference and you know it. Consequence. What would be the consequence of you not screwing up? How do you treat yourself? Chunking up. Is it work or is it overall business that you don't seem to screw up? And if you do make a mistake, doesn't that mean you screwed it up and just means you made a mistake and that's okay? It won't cost you everything? Chunking down. Is it work or one particular area where you seem to be uniquely competent? Analogy. Screwing up is kind of like a flat tire. You stand there waiting for help and it is even worse when it rains. But you do have the choice to make an effort to ask for help or go fix things. To get out of the situation, you don't sit there and stuck. It is kind of like taking to suppliers when you get new stock. If you don't have to give your best every moment. You just have to do what you normally do because they have an interest in you as well as, and so does your wife. In you as well, and so does your wife. I am a master of reframe. So it's not hard, it's that you keep surrounding yourself with people you can control. I am a master of utilizing reframe of the first portion of the belief. I am a master of reframing the second portion of the belief. I am a master of portraying another outcome. What if it wasn't about strength, but that which the strength enables you to do? So if God thinks you're worthy, would he want you to live in shame? This is good, man. 51. 40 more to go. It's easy, it's fun, it's fine. And again we go for the next session. Yo, looking like the media person that I am. Yeah, let's go, yeah, let's go, la, let's go. Oh, yeah, let's go, yeah, oh, hey. Hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, oh, hey, yo, ha, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, hey, oh, hey, yeah, oh, hey, yeah, oh, hey, 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 yeah, hey, oh, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, oh, 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 hey, hey, ja, oh, hey, Saminoxidil in die Fresse schmieren, damit das Bärtli wächst. Ja, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, ja, oh, hey, ja, oh, hey, ja, hey, vorwärts gehen wir hier. I am a master of showing her evaluation. If all this is a journey, hence you can meander around and it would be fine, but that's not fine for you. General principle, when this, then that. When a woman tries to protect herself because she doesn't feel a whole lot of protection, she goes masculine. When a woman tries to protect herself because she doesn't feel a whole lot of protection, she goes masculine, which is true for her, which she has done. I am a master of portraying perspective. Independent, strong as any man, convinces herself that she's stronger. She's not. Just stronger than the man she picks. Just stronger than the man she picks. I'm a master of linking pain to his rules, even for himself. But because he believes the shit he told you. I am a master of eliminating one option. So we don't need to do that with him. I am a master of seeding doubt through perceptions. As good as you told yourself it is. I am a master of deserve statements. It deserves to be more. I am a master of delineating and amplifying the pain. What happened was the same person, there's just radiance. The radiance, your energy is coming out, has not been suppressed. Intent. I am a master of utilizing intent. What was his intent? What did you intend in doing that? What did you intend in doing that? I am a master of verbalizing my client's unconscious intent. So it is a way of saying, fuck you, Dad. I'm more powerful and as good as any boy. I am as powerful and good as any boy. I am a master of showing the intent of my clients. And then you cut off the feeling inside of you that are really real, and you manufacture a set of behaviors that will hopefully make them reject you on some level. I am a master of verbalizing the intent of another part of her. And then the conquering part of you still feels that it has to protect for you to be safe. I am a master of verbalizing the intent and the outcome, so that she's never again in the position that her father put her in again. So that she's never in the position that her father put her in again. I am a master of portraying the intent and the outcome. If that doesn't work, then you actually go back to your true feminine just for short bursts. To pierce through. I am a master of verbalizing my client's intent and motivation. Now you've come here because this is the last thing you want, am I right? I am a master of verbalizing the intent and the value. If we're going to create freedom, I'm a master of displaying the intent. She doesn't mean to be a bitch, does she? I'm a master of displaying the intent of the behavior. She's trying to please everybody. I'm a master of articulating my client's motivation and intent. What are you doing all of this for, though? Your desire to help people is admirable, but what are you going to give? But what is going to give you? Reframe. I am a master of reframing, but there's nothing to do with life. I'm a master of reframing, but it has everything to do with the game in your head. I'm a master of linking what safe implies to the statements as a rephrasing of safe. And how she's going to protect you and take care of you? Evidence. I'm a master of utilizing evidence behaviors of utilizing behavior evidence. Behaviors as evidence. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come to a crazy place like that. I'm a master of displaying her behavior and intent, but she tries to act like she is, convincing herself that she's stronger. I'm a master of showing her behavior as evidence. That's why she came to a place like this. I'm a master of utilizing my client's behavior as evidence. Because you obviously wanted a lot more, otherwise you wouldn't have stood up. Evidence feeling, because she actually loves her work. I'm a master of articulating evidence through his behavior. You have proven that. I'm a master of utilizing evidence. If you truly were that, you would have done that. That shows that you didn't have the intent to kill yourself. If you truly were that, I'm a master of utilizing evidence. This is not who you are, otherwise you would have evidence in the behavior, feeling, or thought. X and identity trait usually go together. The fact that you have X suggests that you are. The fact that you have X suggests that you are not. The fact that you don't have X suggests that you are. The fact that you don't have X suggests that you are not. If you are, then you are. If you are, then you are not. If you are not, then you are. If you are not, then you are not. If you do, then you are. If you don't, then you are. If you do, then you are not. If you do, then you are not. If you don't, then you are not. You are not demonstrating the number one trait. I am a master of utilizing the evidence in the person's behavior or accessories as evidence for the identity. Thoughts, cold reading. I am a master of verbalizing my client's thoughts. You have told me it's unjust. I am a master of cold reading thoughts. But that's not okay for you. I am a master of cold reading. I understand now why you look down on him. You could have looked for love where it wasn't possibly reachable. That would have been a smart thing to do. I am a master of verbalizing my client's beliefs, and then you tell yourself you can't do anything else. I'm a master of stating the belief that she verbalized earlier, because after all, you're masculine. I am a master of stating my client's real feelings. But you do when you're with your niece. I am a master of verbalizing her thoughts, because her father is a good man and he knows what a difficult world is out there. I am a master of verbalizing the inner conflict. If you were going to love me and be loved by me, you're going to be independent. I am a master of articulating the cause, stating what she agrees with, because it is not something that she has ever experienced before. This happened to her when she was this tall. You didn't come to this on your own, you came to this as an adaptation. You didn't come to this on your own, you came to this as an adaptation. I'm a master of verbalizing her reasons, and the reason is because he doesn't love you. I'm a master of verbalizing his thoughts. He feels concerns, feeling. I'm a master of verbalizing his feelings, but he still feels. I'm a master of verbalizing his feelings. What I mean is he feels stress. I'm a master of verbalizing his feelings. He feels frustrations, behavior. I am a master of talking to my clients' feelings and behaviors. You have two choices now. Either you stay as you are or significantly change. I'm a master of verbalizing my clients' behavior. You do this as much as you can in business and then you do it again in your personal life. I am a master of verbalizing my clients' behavior. So you do it as much as you can in business and then you do it again in your personal life. I'm a master of verbalizing her behavior. So you try to beat somebody to the punch always. I'm a master of verbalizing my clients' behavior. If that doesn't work, then you denigrate them, convert them to something they are not. I'm a master of articulating my client's behavior. You're jumping, excited, having fun. I'm a master of verbalizing my client's behavior. She's just trying to be obedient. I am a master of verbalizing my client's behaviors, intent and motivation. She's trying to be right. I am a master of justifying my client's behavior, which are noble things. I am a master of articulating the behavior, delineating and distinguishing. We don't want to make her wrong. We just want to give her a new employment, a new role, and she doesn't have to become unemployed. I am a master of articulating my client's behavior. This is about somebody who wants something more than life itself, but then pushes it away just as rapidly because she's afraid of what it would mean. I'm a master of verbalizing her behavior. She's trying so hard. I am a master of articulating the behavior. And he is pushing hard to be successful and be responsible and take care of his family. I am a master of verbalizing his behaviors. And he has difficulties even expressing it. Sympathy, empathy. I am a master of acknowledging and sympathy. I know your brother and sisters. I am a master of empathizing. I feel for her, don't you? That's how trapped that poor woman over there feels. Restating what she said earlier. I am a master of restating what she said earlier. You love them and you want them to love you. Facts. I'm a master of stating the facts. But many of those have no basis in reality. Dynamics. I'm a master of explaining a dynamic and stating what has just happened. But at some level you want to overpower them because your father didn't give you what you wanted. I am a master of reinforcing my client with this identity. And then you hate yourself for it because this is not who you are. I am a master of portraying another empowering alternative. What would happen if you realized that the real challenge is that you feel unsafe, that you are scared of feeling unsafe? I am a master of delineating the pattern from the real essence. But it has been so long that you thought it was you. Justification. I'm a master of justification. And you had to be with a father like that and a brother like that. I'm a master of justifying. And that would make anybody a bitch. Confirmation. I am a master of confirmation questions. I bet he's done those things, hasn't he? I'm a master of confirmation. Yes, I think you have too. I'm a master of confirmation and I believe it is a really good relationship. Getting clients to agree. I'm a master of getting her to agree because he met her initially. Fear. I'm a master of verbalizing her fear. You are scared of not being loved like your father didn't love you. Shalini. What have I fucked up? What if I'm not enough? I'm a master of portraying my clients' fears. But then when they come, you are afraid that it won't last. I am a master of articulating the reason, fear, because she is fearful of what it would mean. I am a master of verbalizing her fears. That means that there is a hunger inside of you in spite of what you see on the outside, but she's just scared because what if I fuck up and I'm not responsible, I'm not controlled, I'm not successful at the level that I should be. I am a master of just playing your thoughts in first person, of displaying. I'm a master of displaying the thoughts in first person. What if I don't take care of everything? I'm a master of displaying the consequence. That's got to be heavy. Desire. I'm a master of articulating my client's desire, even though it is something that she wants. I'm a master of articulating my client's desire, because you obviously wanted a lot more than broken function. I am a master of displaying her intent and desire. She came because she wants to maximize her potential. Leverage. I'm a master of stating the current linkage for pain and spending her whole life being angry about it. I'm a master of portraying the consequence as leverage. She loses passion. Dynamics. I'm a master of portraying the dynamic and the real life circumstances, and then the whole thing starts over again. I'm a master of articulating dynamics, and then she despises these men because she can control them. I'm a master of explaining dynamics. But part of the beauty that every parent prays for is that their child will be more than they are. Consequence. I am a master of portraying how my client is avoiding negative consequences while avoiding pains. And you never had to worry about them cheating on you or controlling you. I am a master of portraying the consequence, but you didn't feel significance long term because they weren't stronger or unique in what they brought to the table. I am a master of portraying the consequence. It didn't feel safe. I am a master of portraying the consequence, and you didn't feel safe. I am a master of showing the consequence of the belief. That has got to be heavy. I am a master of stating the consequence. So she worked hard her whole life to control herself into this being that is no longer fully alive. I am a master of just playing the consequence, and her father's intention is pure. Her father's intention is completely pure, but it fucked her up massively, massively. I am a master of articulating the consequences, because it would be so tight inside, so much pressure. I am a master of displaying the consequence, the leverage for pain. Can you imagine what that would do to you over years or decades? I am a master of verbalizing the consequence. And how alive is he emotionally? And how alive is he emotionally? I am a master of verbalizing the consequence. And when you feel and don't express, it creates incongestion. I am a master of displaying the consequences. So he shut down inside. Outcome. I am a master of showing the outcome already accomplished. So the question is, have you proven yourself to your father? I am a master of showing how the behavior doesn't accomplish the outcome. You still have not gotten the amount of love that you would prefer. Am I right or wrong about that? Third person. I am a master of talking in third person. Some made that game very difficult to achieve. I am a master of talking in third person. Hers is very difficult. I'm a master of talking about third person. An old model you have actually worn out and no longer gives you any juice, which is true for her. Metaphors. I'm a master of utilizing metaphors, and she's trying to win a game that is impossible to win. I'm a master of displaying the conditions and hypotheticals, because in order to win, she would have to be something she's not. I'm a master of utilizing metaphors. But now what you're trying to do is based on what you think somebody else's terms are and not your own. Inductions. Yeah, man, we're getting to 60. Fuck yeah, let's go. Inductions. I'm a master of utilizing hypnotic inductions. So the interesting thing is, they're just hard to imagine. Indication. I'm a master of indicating and giving instructions. Tell me what an extraordinary life looks like for you. Stating the facts. I'm a master of stating the facts, because there's nothing wrong with her either. I'm a master of stating the facts. You didn't come to this on your own, but you came to this as an adaptation. Hypothetical fulfillment. I am a master of articulating hypothetical fulfillment, but even if you have been the way your father wanted you to be, hypothetical, what if that happens, would you truly be happy? Delineating the pattern from the essence. I am a master of delineating the pattern from the essence. Now she believes that travel at some part. Now she believes that at some level, but part of her knows more. I am a master of delineation, but they come not from your unconsciously picking, but your adaptation. I am a master of delineating the pattern from the essence, because there's part of her that truly wants this change. Leverage. I'm a master of understanding what already influences my clients, and I'm utilizing massive psychological leverage. I am a master of applying leverage onto the pattern. Yes, I am a master of applying massive psychological leverage onto my client. Yes, I am a master of utilizing leverage. I am a master of utilizing massive psychological leverage onto my clients. Yes, I am a master of applying leverage onto my clients. Yes, I am a master of utilizing leverage. Yes, I'm a master of creating leverage, step 2. Yes, I am a master of utilizing leverage. I am a master of applying leverage. Yes, I'm a master of utilizing a global solution of that which my client values even more than the pain. Values. Suki, people showing up for her. What if your kids can't show up in the way that they should show up at school because they are occupied, because you seem to be so unhappy? By the way, do kids usually notice that more than you think they do? Yes or no? Leverage questions. First, I understand my client's model of the world. What conditions they are born in, what's going on in their lives, all of this information, who they spend time with, what they work, how their daily routines look like, what their environment looks like, do they have pets, do they have a family, what are their sources of love, how do they get their top 2 human needs met, what are their top 2 human needs, and how do they live, how do they get those needs met. All of that is very important for us to understand. Leverage questions. How does your husband feel about that? What qualities are your children going to develop as a result of that? What qualities do you think they will never develop that would be beneficial? So they're going to lose out on developing those qualities and all the benefits of having these qualities. So they will attract a partner that also lacks these qualities. Do you think this is going to be a good and enjoyable relationship? How is this going to make you look? How is this going to make your children look? What are they going to miss out on if you don't change this? And what is the bad that they don't have to experience when you change that? And when you change that, what else is going to be possible for you personally? How will your wife feel about that? And when she feels that way, what is going to be possible for her? What do you think, what worries about your health that she has are going to drop away when you change that and stay consistent? This is good. If she continues to live this way, joylessly, happy but joylessly, what is that going to lead to? I am providing massive psychological leverage onto my client with his vehicles and with his needs, with his identity and with his global beliefs. Global beliefs, everything that they believe about the world and about themselves, about classes of life. With his identity, but this is not who you are. What would that make you be? And what would that say about you? And if you really did that and stayed consistent with that and couldn't change that, what would that say about you? Okay. What do you think your children are going to learn if you don't change that? And what else are they going to learn? What are they never going to learn if you do that, if you can't change that? Vehicles with the needs, with the identity. Diese peckigen Ohrengumpen, Yahweh, Yahweh, we are rich. Let's go, Yahweh. Yes, I'm a master of applying massive psychological leverage onto my client. I'm a master of applying leverage. Leverage is always a bargain of that which he values more than the pain. That's it. That's leverage. Leverage on the fulcrum. I am applying massive psychological leverage through reframe, identity, global beliefs, commonly needs and vehicles. General leverage formulas, feeling, thoughts, behaviors, Scott, Jessica, Jess. Taking away an option, Jim, Hannah. Pain amplified, not being able to use one vehicle. I am a master of applying massive psychological leverage onto my client. Identity, needs, no one can love you. Global beliefs, vehicles, feelings of guilt and shame. Loss, less, never for the values. And what else is going to be possible? And what else is never going to be possible? And how do you think that will impact everything? Okay. And what do you think is not going to be possible? What's going to be significantly harder if you don't change that? How so? Probably, yeah. How so? And what's going to get significantly harder if you don't change that long term? Let's explore that. Let's look at that part. Because that's there, isn't it? Some things will stay fairly easy, but some things long term will get much harder, don't they? And so what would that be? Examples: Alan, leverage. Punishing family. More pain than gain, like he did with Jessica. Leverage Hannah. Vehicle, sisters. Leverage Jessica. Love for your children. Feelings of depression continue and amplify. Unwanted behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behavior patterns. Scott, mom's perception. Her feelings, no relationship. Nancy, somebody else will open to him. Exactly. Leverage Suki. What would your child say? Is that a consequence you are willing to punish your children just because you've been around for so long? Leverage Scott, less love, lots of love, never the same love. Loss of love, not lots. Never the same love. Mother's pain, guilt, shame, blaming yourself, Karen. And have the lives of your children be fucked over because you didn't have the courage when God gave you the chance to tell yourself what you already believe. And let them live a life of insecurity and pain, knowing that they were never good enough for their mother, just the one child was. I am a master of turning the away from value onto itself. The children experiencing the same pain that she experienced. I am a master of articulating how she is developing qualities or is already displaying these qualities that she dislikes in others. Rodrigo. Becoming vindictive like your father, and that would make him win, wouldn't it? And that would really make him better than you. There's something here as well. Hey ya, hey ya, I am a seminar leader. Yes, I'm doing this type of work. Yes, people are coming in to see me perform this work. Yes. Do you think her new mom would be a meat eater? Sending the tape to the insurance company. This isn't the one he met, or otherwise he would have run. We don't need to do anything else for that. Soon enough, you will age enough so that you don't have the looks to manipulate anymore. Hannah, consequence for the parents. Jim, making an option, not an option anymore. Alicia, pain of aging. Leverage Lisa. Do you think your new mom is going to be a meat eater? Real life scenario, undesired outcome, undesired identity. Jim. The objective of his actions cannot be accomplished anymore because the insurance company will receive the tape, so the option is eliminated. For Karen, sit down and let your other 4 children's lives be fucked over because you didn't have the courage to step up when God gave you the chance. So that their mom's always unhappy and they will forever feel like they are not good enough to make you happy, and let them live with insecurities and fears and the lack of love for the rest of their lives. I would have added bet on their abandonment wound and have them abandon you just as soon as they can leave, and abandon you like you feel you've always been abandoned, not just by men but by your own children that used to love you, all out of your willingness to hold on about this belief that you should be sad. This is not even who you are. This is just, that is now what your life is all about. Never in your life has your life been about behaving like you behave now. And it could, because you believe unconsciously she is not doing it deliberately, need the comfort of feeling bad. It gives you some comfort among all the anger that you harbor, probably towards men in your life. So your energy is being wasted into the emotion of anger and self-blame that exhausts you because it must come up. Who wouldn't be exhausted? Anybody would be. And it is okay to rest. In fact, there is no other choice but to. But when you use feeling bad as a way of reconnecting to yourself, we, number one, need to fix the anger issue, and number two, the way you reconnect to yourself. Plus, I assume you unconsciously believe that if I let go of the belief, it may happen again, and it is a way to pay tribute to your daughter and to demonstrate how much you really love her. Am I right or wrong about that? Yes. So let's tackle these things step by step and one by one. Fair enough? Great. Let's look at where the anger comes from. Cool, that's fine. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. I am so grateful for the great way that I look, for this great tired suit. This is an amazing combination and I'm looking so professional and so great. And now when I'm actually making those YouTube videos explaining these psychological dynamics, this is going to work in the next year. I just gotta keep going, I just gotta keep better, keep getting better at content and actually making content about the things that are on my mind, that are on my heart, that are on my spirit, of working with people, because I'm helping my clients get up in the morning and go to bed at night. Currently, I'm helping people gain clarity, reflect about them, and the value about them is that they save time that they otherwise would have needed to spend to get to the outcome where they want to get to. I am committing myself to marriage and purity in thought and behavior and everything else. Hey ya 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 hey ya 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 hey ya 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 home hey ya ya home hey ya ya hey yo ha hey ya ya hey yo ha hey ya hey yo ha hey yo ha hey ya ya hey ya ya home ya ya home ya ya home. I'm helping my clients with understanding who they are and the patterns that is going in their minds, going in their heads, about jealousy and about changing patterns and about going forward and about having faith and about explaining to them what is happening inside of them. Okay, let's keep reading until the content comes out of me so naturally, and it already does, and it already is. Lisa, pattern that is getting in the way of meeting her top two human needs for love and certainty, being hard and masculine. Your son will forever be resisting a true feminine woman if you wear a sensible person like I know that you are underneath it all. Because I see the love that you have for your son, that I see the warmth in your voice when you talk about him, and the sense as the sensible of a person, you would blame yourself for all of the arguments that he will have with his wife, and have his children be fucked over for generations to come because you didn't step up and change when you had the chance to. On the other hand, if you change, some of his suffering is going to disappear. Yes, I am a master of applying massive psychological leverage onto my client. His method, falling away, Jim, Mary. No one can love you. They may give you sympathy, but it's not love, and there is a difference, and you know it. Jess, all of this out of her willingness to stay in red with her own daughter. Lisa, your son will have the same pain as you do. Alicia, you don't have to do anything because soon enough you will age enough that you don't have the looks to manipulate. Lisa, how her son will not have a relationship with a woman and his kids have to suffer if she doesn't change now. If she hangs on to her pain because she believes that she still needs to protect herself from her father. So I need to work on the belief around strength and weakness. I am a master of giving her a bargain, what she values even more than the pain. Love. She may not do it for herself and her own relationship with her husband because she may already have given up, but she may do it for her son and he's getting love from his wife. Jim. What he valued more than the pain because he got sympathy from and believed he needed and deserved punishment. Then I would have linked pain to how he meets his needs short term, which is now, and show him how there will be immediate pleasure for changing now. Jess, turn around leverage. Why do you let the daughter be the parent for you? I am the master of linking the pain that made you most angry, didn't it? To the behavior that she's currently displaying through turnaround. For Alicia, pain of aging. For Shalini, pain of being left alone, rejected, abandoned, or else he would have run. Hurt her deeply because this is her deepest fear based on her deepest wound. Feeling alive is a value that he uses both for Bob and Shalini. I am a master of providing psychological leverage. Do you think your new mom will be a meat eater, utilizing the away from value and the unwanted identity as leverage, sending the tape to the insurance company? This one is the one he met, but this one isn't the one he met. This one isn't the one he met, or else he would have run. We don't need to do anything for that. Soon enough, you will age enough so that you don't have the looks to manipulate, utilizing the deep universal fear of aging in a woman. Hannah, consequences for the parents. Jim, making action not an option anymore. Alicia, the pain of aging. Positive leverage, Shalini. Some of his suffering will disappear. Lisa, showing her son that his children will have the same pain that she had, utilizing pains that she is feeling and projecting them onto the vehicles. Yes, I am providing massive emotional leverage onto my client. Jim, taking away the action of suicide. I am a master of providing my client with a global solution that he values even more than his pain. Jess, all of that out of her willingness to stay in the red with her own daughter, implying willingness and linking that to the pain. Lisa, your son will suffer the same pain that you had to, utilizing the empathy around the pain that she's currently feeling. Suki, sickness that she will develop when she doesn't retire, good girl. Leverage must be immediate pain for not changing, and the immediacy is made happen through the focus, immediate pleasure of changing now. The relationship that you have with your husband will get magnificent. Alicia, the pain of aging, a vicious cycle, leveraged through verbalizing her dilemma and making her feel the pain right now. Global solution. I am a master of creating a bargain for my client. Leverage global solution. What he values even more than the pain. I am a master of giving my client a global solution. I am a master of giving my client a global solution. I am a master of providing my client with a global solution, the one behavior that is like the big domino that makes all the other problems fall away. I am a master of applying leverage, what he values even more than the pain that he utilizes to meet his needs in some way. I am a master of giving my client a global solution. My client is hanging on to the pain of the pattern for a reason, so I'm giving him a reason for what he values even more. Yes, I am a master of finding a global solution for leverage. I am a master of applying leverage because all change is a way to get out of pain. When my client values something even more than the pain, I have a global solution. I am a master of getting leverage onto my client by finding a global solution, something that he values even more than the pain. Finding a global solution, something that he values even more than his pain. Change is a means to get out of pain primarily so that the global solution is there to give my client something that he values even more than the pain. I am a master of showing him what he values more than his pain, that this is his global solution. Immediacy. I am a master of applying leverage. Leverage is immediate pain for not changing now and immediate pleasure for changing now. Pain. I am a master of amplifying the current pain. I am a master of amplifying the future pain. Loss, less, never, pervasive, risky, slow and hard. Vehicles. I am a master of utilizing my client's vehicles as massive psychological leverage. I am utilizing my client's nightmare of insecurity, fear, vices, thought, feeling and behavior patterns. I am a master of showing the impact on somebody that he cares about. Mother, Scott, guilt and shame. Tawny, stealing from friends. What kind of pain must she have inside, knowing that you didn't step up to be the man that she hoped you'd be? I'm a master of articulating the pain of unwanted feelings, guilt, shame, self-judgment. You won't have this love. No one can love you. I am going to show and tell how the needs or his vehicles for love, the people in his life that he gets love, significant certainty from, are going to fall away. I am a master of showing the impact of that behavior he has on the vehicles, the people in his life that he wants love, care, attention, status, and recognition from. Leverage, Scott Mann. I am a master of applying massive psychological leverage with the away from feelings, guilt, and shame. I am a master of applying psychological leverage through thoughts, connected to his deepest wounds. I felt he is worthless. I am a master of applying massive psychological leverage through insecurities. And if you stay at home, invariably you will eventually find a girl because your sex drive overrides your fear. Or you stay at home and the pain will grow. Inevitability of choice. And if that happens, and you find a woman she will never discover, and it will be brought to light that you were really needy and unworthy of love, which fall away if you move out now. Away from feeling, guilt, shame, away from thoughts, what must she think? Prevention of vehicle, love from her husband, change of vehicle. The love will have a filter to it that you won't like. Causation of pain, you being a cause for her problems, faster, easier, more likely, gain more, always, pervasive, forever. I am a master of portraying the linear cross, all the surroundings, because that keeps the dynamic in place. I am a master of applying leverage through the perception of bad intent towards the vehicles and the people she loves, her children. I am a master of utilizing my clients' vehicles for massive psychological leverage. Leverage can be through the vehicles. I'm showing and telling my client how this vehicle is going to have more pain and less pleasure. 67 of 94. It's fine.